Hi. So recently I heard somebody make, that argument that I'm sure you've heard before, in regards to like the founding fathers, and their attitudes towards slavery and I guess other things. So just kind of brushing that aside as like other men of their times. That's not really something that needs that much in-depth discussion. As I've said before, I don't know, it kind of does need discussion. Yes, in as much as like people, especially I guess sort of people who would make that men of their times argument, seems like they're going to be like the most adamant that I guess the stuff that the founding fathers wrote, and even just the stuff that maybe they didn't codify, but the stuff they I guess said in like private correspondence or other sources. It's this idea that what they said, what they wanted, this is still highly irrelevant. So I guess like if we were talking about like the ancient Babylonians and I guess their um barbarism or whatever, maybe brutality is a better word, but it doesn't really matter. Like we're not bound by Babylonian law. We're not saying that like, oh, all of these contributions to I guess political theory from the Babylonians, this is all still highly relevant today. I mean, yeah, I guess you might talk about like the Hammurabi Code and like how that have laid a precedent for stuff, but you're judging like the Hammurabi Code on the basis of its own merits. I feel like a lot of people, when you start discussing like the founding fathers and the stuff they believed, you don't really have to discuss it based on its merits. We'll just say like what they set up, what they codified, what they put into law, even like I guess what they insinuated they might have wanted. This is all like highly important, and this is all like highly relevant to us today. Like, fine, if you want to say that, like you just gotta. I don't see how you can say that and then say like, oh, but I guess there are deep moral issues like that they're men of their times in respect to their shortcomings, but as far as like what they want for us is highly relevant. Like you're not just gonna say, they're men of their times in regards to I guess what you think are the positive things. And of course, I'm not saying like we should just throw it all away. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like we need to get to the point where you can justify, I guess, things that the founding fathers said based on the merit of the things. Okay, you can't just say, oh, here's something that like John Adams said. Because John Adams said it, like it's binding. And like John Adams, like he didn't own slaves on principle, so because they like was clearly like a better person. But like at the same time, can you really say the priorities of John Adams align with our priorities when I guess to him like American independence was I guess a bigger issue than slavery. So he was willing to put the whole abolition question on hold in order to build unity between the northern and the southern colonies. I guess a compromise with the slaveholding states was worth it in his mind, um, to expedite the whole you know independence project. Again, yeah, he was against slavery, but he was willing to compromise on it because independence was a bigger deal. And I just even with him, like, can you really say that that aligns with our values? I guess would you have made the same decision? Um, should we have should we make comparable decisions? Should we tolerate like human right abuses for like political ends? Like if you think no, then it's like I think we can just say like okay, then I guess our value systems don't align. It really has nothing to do with, I guess, the intelligence of any of these people. It has more to do with like, do their values align with our values? And if not, we can't just use like their beliefs and their words as like the final authority on every issue. Again, I just want to reiterate, I'm not saying we like need to uproot any particular thing. Just that I think we're to the point in time when we need to start, you know, justifying things based on their own merit. We can't just say, this is what, people 300 years ago believed. Well, 250 years ago. I don't know because yeah, that's what they're saying. Yeah, 250 years ago. Cowboy, Winchester, America. No, but seriously though, I think you know what I'm trying to say. So